Hello, it's Rafael Gutierrez, and for those of you who watch this on a regular basis, I'm sorry that I haven't been around. I went to a trip to Okinawa right after my finals, so I was gone for 10 days, and during finals week, I really don't have time to do anything but write the test, grade the test, and turn in the grades. So that's why I'm going to be apologize for those of you who like to watch this regularly. Now, with that said, I am actually going to talk about one thing that I had almost finished before, and that is how people are able to take blows to the neck. Now, I will not do it to myself because I also understand what can happen if things go wrong, but there were people online who have done it and have their own explanation on how they were able to do it. I'm not saying that their explanation is wrong. I'm not even going to say that it is incomplete. What I'm going to say is I want to use my way of showing you the muscles and everything that's around there. Now, I did ask a few people if I could use their videos. One person said, well, maybe, sort of, but really didn't seem too happy for someone to take their videos, and I understand that. Now, one of the things that a lot of times people think is, if I'm right, it means they're wrong. And the truth is, that's not the way it works. I may be right based on the information I have right now. Tomorrow, someone else may be right because they have the information that is better than mine. And so the thing is, you constantly have to be looking at the data, what is there, how it works. Right now, there's some people who talk about spiritual energies and how they're able to build stuff up. Well, I will not deal with spiritual energy because it's not something that can be measured, felt. It's pretty much something that they are talking about based on their own experiences. And that's one of the big things is experiences are vital for people to understand how things work. If I can say, well, based on the structure of something, this is the way it should work. And if someone shows me, oh, well, look, I can break this by doing the X, Y, and Z, I then have to change my modeling. I have to change what I know based on what they can show. That being said, I always tend to like numbers. And things that I can see. So when I do the neck, I'm not going to show you how to take the neck blow. It pretty much is, what you'll notice is their muscles of the neck come up, their trachea gets pulled up and back, and so what ends up happening is it ends up getting covered with the muscles. So it's not the trachea that takes a hit, it's the muscles around that end up getting a hit. It still will get hit, and it can do damage. That said, I do like the idea of sharing information, and I like people sharing information with me. Recently I did the trip from San Diego to Oakland area, and ended up having a chance to train with different martial artists, sometimes different styles, different things, and in every place I went, I learned something. Sometimes what I learned I can't use myself. Sometimes it's slightly different than what I would expect. But it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It doesn't mean that they gave me information or anything of less value. It just means that we're both following different paths and looking for what works for us. Now, with that said, like I said, I am going to plan to write about that. And I did mention how I went to Okinawa. I'm not going to write another book about going to Okinawa because, as those of you who watched this before know, I already have one, Serious and the Rarest Things. It's available on Amazon. A lot of times I do joke around about how I do shameless plugs for my stuff, but the truth is that's part of the reason why I'm trying to do the channel, is I want people to know what I've actually produced, and maybe it'll help them. Different arts will have different cultural influences that until you go visit the culture, you really won't get a feel for what the essence of the art is. That doesn't mean that you can't be a great martial art without going to the country. It just means that if you can find the birthplace of the martial art you do, you can end up getting certain philosophical differences that you cannot get just by sitting here. Best way to describe it is, imagine if someone was taking a class on Italian cooking. By going to Italy, they may understand why certain things are done a certain way. That is one of the big things that, yes, I hope that people who actually read the stuff, who look at this, will end up deciding that, hey, you know what, let me travel, let me see what's out there. At the same time, like I said, the train trip from that I took, I learned a lot, not just about my style, but of other styles, and have actually incorporated a lot of the stuff I learned there into my style. Now, if I am the type of person who, if someone I feel that these people gave to me, so it's my obligation to give back to other people. So that's my hope, that what I'm doing with the channel. Now, there are a lot of people who believe that if I'm right, then you're wrong, and so, they try to hide their information so people can't show that they're wrong, or they feel sometimes that they're attacked. And it happens in everything. A lot of people will only read or only watch things that match their ideas. Some people may say I'm actually like that because I want numbers, and I I will listen to someone who tells me, well, they can do this because of this. But if I can find a better an explanation which I can measure, quantify, I'm going to use that one rather than, well, I just, through spiritual energy, am able to do this. If I can find a reason using physics, basic math, basic modeling, I'm going to use that explanation. And so I hope you enjoy this. This is actually the absorption to the neck. I couldn't find anyone. Like I said, a lot of people are always worried that someone like me is going to attack what they believe, and that's usually not my intent. If you ever felt like I've done that, I apologize right away. My goal is really more the ideas of science into martial arts, and martial arts into science. So with that, I hope you enjoy the explanation with models. Now, I will not do a direct blow to the neck, so I'm using someone else's video. Now, here you can actually see the sternocleidomastoid, which is one of the ones that they mentioned. But I'm going to bring this other head here so you can see this better. And now you can see, besides the sternocleidomastoid, the sternohyoid, the omohyoids are going to be there. You actually have the mylohyoid over here, the digastrics, and all these muscles in this area here are going to take the trachea and lift it up, so it's going to hide underneath these, and then produce a layer of muscle around the trachea. That way you protect the trachea. There are still some areas where it can be exposed, but with one punch it's going to be hard to get in there. Now, like I said, some people will do it and they do great, and they have no problem doing it over and over again. I refuse to do it myself because I worry about taking a hit to the trachea.